Guys, what's up? How you doing? Trust you are doing well and you are doing great. This is day 33 and we are moving closer day by day to the last day. I am so excited. I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the day I get to film, day I get to record the last episode of this challenge. How it will be. I don't know. Oh my god, I'll be in my feelings. Right? Alright guys, so how you doing? How has day 1 to 2032 been? How has it been? I know yesterday we talked about partnering and we talked about, you be a loyal person. That loyalty means being faithful, be obedient, and being God fearing. Today we'll be looking at continuing. And the characteristics for today, we're going to be looking at credibility. So first, let's unpack continuing, right? I few things stood out for me. A lot of things actually stood out for me in this place. More than 7 things stood out for me when I was reading this. And you know how I do it. I'll share it with you. I hope it resonates with you. I hope it enlightens you, and I hope it blesses you also. Right. So the first thing that stood out for me, I wrote, God wants whatever we do in this life to be to His glory. This particular today is actually talking about the fact that you have to leave a. It's talking about legacy. It's talking about the things you do. Right. This week we've been talking about the power of doing. Yeah, so that's what this week is about, the power of doing. And today we wanted to we were looking at the things you do in the aspect of it continuing even when you are not on the scene. And he was talking about the fact that he talked about Stephen Covey when he was saying something about that you live, you this. But this book pointed on something else that really stood out for me. He said, regardless of all those things, the most important thing is that you live a life to the glory of the Lord. So I guess the first question I will ask you is, are you living to God's glory? So it's not enough to have this organization, have this structure, have this, da. Is it to God's glory? There's something I recently, there was a revelation I recently got, and I started, using it for myself. I say, I am grateful for the God of my journey, right? And somebody recently asked me that, why are you always making that statement? And I said that because I understand that where I am thus far, in my mind, I could not have gotten here by my own. And that just speaks something louder to me. It speaks that definitely looking back at my journey, then there must have been somebody that has been keeping me, that has been leading me, that has been propelling me. That person is the God of my journey. And ever since then, I started referencing God as the God of my journey. I started saying the books I write, the things I do, the things I write, they are to the God. They are to acknowledge, to honor the God of my journey. So my question to you is this: whatever you are doing, are you doing it to God's glory? The second thing that stood out for me was why I wrote, what you leave behind on earth is not just in what you do, it is also in how you do it. I think this really stood out. I really learned this in 2022. That is not so much about, oh, I'm blessing people, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. How are you doing it? The how is also very, very important. The how is very, very important. How are you managing the people that you have in your hands? For example, I remember in 2020 when I said I wanted to get 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to do this. And the Spirit of God was telling me in August then, and He was telling me, saying that if I give you that 1,000 subscriber today, what is going to change about your life? And I remember that thought took me to a deep, deep, deep. Like I had to think and think. And I said, this thing is just figure. It's just going to change. 999 is going to change to 1000. Who do I become, or what do I do? And then that was when I changed my gaze. I'm a figure person. Yeah, I did accounting in school. I'm a figure person. I can obsess so much about figures and everything. And that was when I started changing my mind about figures. And I said, it's not so much about the figures changing, but who am I becoming? As the figure is changing, who am I becoming? That was when I shifted my focus and I said, okay, I have 180 subscribers to go. As at then, I had 180 subscribers to go. I said, these 180 subscribers, what can I do to make their life better? And sincerely, that understanding changed my focus. That understanding changed everything around me. Now, I can tell you now that the strategy I used to grow my YouTube channel was, I might not be subscribed, I might not be monetized right now on my YouTube, but I'm so grateful to God that on that my journey to monetization, I am blessing life. I remember somebody, one of my clients this month said something, said, Mr. Toluwakemi, this video I'm watching, you mean you shot this video September 2022? I said, yes. The person said, you mean almost 5 to 6 months after this video is inspiring me this much? I said, yes. Because by the time I changed my understanding, by the time I changed my perspective, by the time I changed my mindset, it stopped becoming the figure and it started becoming, who can I bless? Who can I become? Do you get? So as a result of that, it's now informed the things that I do. That it's not so much about me getting monetized, me getting 1,000 subscribers. But it now has to do with, how do I get those subscribers? How did I do it to get those subscribers? See, if today I open my YouTube and I see monetized, I kid you not, it's not going to be so much about the monetized, but it's going to be so much about the life I have been able to impact on that my journey today. See, guys, I just love everything journey. I love it. I love it. The third thing that stood out for me is that each action or word from you is a part of your legacy. They all add up. So it's not that my legacy is minus this. Your legacy is everything. Somebody I hold dear to my heart recently died. And the day of his burial, I was reading people's status and I could see the kindness, the joy, the words that people were putting out about him. And I understood that how this person showed care to everybody was different. And they all added up at the end of the day to be the person's legacy. Another thing that stood out for me is waiting doesn't diminishes you. In fact, it enlarges you. This is so true. But let me be sincere with you. When you are waiting, this statement does not look like it is going to be true. It is until you get to the other side of waiting that you find out that this statement is actually true. But I'm telling you today, just like you and I wish I can tell you that I don't fall victim of these two. I fall victim of it because waiting is never easy. When you are waiting, it's not just like, let me just say it's not always easy, but I'm grateful for the privilege to wait. Even as you are single right now, trust me, it is a privilege to wait. Some people didn't get the opportunity to wait. Some people wished they had waited. So if you and I are getting the opportunity and the privilege to wait, trust me, it is a good thing. Oprah Winfrey said something. She said, the whole point of being alive is to evolve into the complete person you were intended to be. Well, I wrote it in a different way. I said, the whole point of being alive is to evolve into the version of you who God has in mind before the foundation of the earth. Remember, I've said this before. There is a you in God's mind. There is when we say 2023, there is a version of you in 2023 in God's mind. I remember it was in 2022 I got to understand this, that there is a version of me. And I remember when I was praying about 2023 and the Spirit of God told me that one of the things that I will do in this year, 2023, is that I will take a particular course. When I looked for the amount for that course was 400,000 naira. It was crazy. I was like, how is it possible? Guys, what if I tell you that right now I am currently on that course? Don't ask me how I was able to get the money, because even I myself, if I explain it to you, I will explain God. That is the truth. And that is the kind of life I want to live. I want to live a kind of life that to explain every aspect of my life is to explain God. I remember in school, somebody was speaking with me and the person was like, you cannot even make one sentence in like 30 minutes, you'd have been saying God, 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 God. Somebody cannot just ask you about something random. You would have said God, God. I said because to explain me is to explain God. That is the kind of life I subscribed to. That's the kind of life I have chosen to live. And I'm grateful to God that I get to live that life. Not everybody gets to live it. So I am grateful to God that I get to live it. What we do is a result of the decisions we make and the actions we take as a result of that decision. Whatever you do starts first with a decision, then a corresponding action, then there can be results. You are one decision away from changing the course of your life. And that is true. Whenever maybe you are feeling shitty or anything like that, you are one decision from changing your life. Our choices and behaviors, they establish our credibility. Now, I want to talk about credibility. What does credibility mean? The books define this as believability, the ability for somebody to believe you. I said the ability for you to believe yourself. I know he's always looking at Toluwakemi. Why is it yourself, yourself? Because see, I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I believe strongly in this that whatever you are not to yourself, you cannot give. One of the reasons why I have amazing friendship is because I am first a friend to myself. I kid you not. I am forced. Why is it that somebody that you've seen in a long time and you just meet the person again, it looks like you people did not even grow apart. I say it's because I am like that to myself. If I mess up like this, immediately I put myself back together and I say, I got you, bro. See, there's no how if you're around me, you would have heard me say this to myself. I got you. I've said it to myself a lot of time. Like, I got you, T. I got you, my babe. I say that to myself because if I don't have these things, I cannot, if I don't know how it is, how it feels, I cannot give it. And it is the truth. Now, the book asks the question, can people believe what you say? Can people believe what you say? See, there is no deception worse than self-deception. Self-deception is the is the worst. Lasting reputation are built on your ability to hold yourself accountable for your own legitimacy, genuineness, and authenticity. You establish credibility with yourself and others by doing what you say, even if it hurts. Guys, this is not easy, but it is worth it. Cautiously practice it. What can people count on you to do? Like, so far that you are here on earth, what can people count on you to do? Like, ask yourself that question. And lastly, I wrote here that the more you are willing to accept responsibility for your actions, the more credibility you will have. So true. So true. All right, guys, that's it for today. Let me ask you, have you bought my latest book? If you have not gotten my latest book, what is going on? It's just a token of 1,000 naira. I'm going to drop a link in the description box. Please, 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 please go order for a copy of my book, The Year I Did a Lot. You're going to learn a lot from the book. In the book, I shared about the last 1 year of my life. I talked about how God moved me from glory to glory. I shared a lot of things, and I believe strongly that you really should check it out. All right, guys, like come your way next time. My name is the Global Toluwakemi. Thank you so much for listening. And tomorrow we'll be looking at prioritizing. Yes, we're looking at prioritizing tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye bye.